Hello my friends, welcome to today's video. I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. In today's video I am going to share with you my very first experience with gouache paint. Now I mentioned the gouache paint in a previous video, but I haven't actually played with it, and I've been watching a lot of videos and I see some beautiful landscapes and things that I would like to try in the future. But to start with, I wanted something that was fairly simple so that I could get my feet wet. So my birthday is on January 24th, and one of my friends sent me this card, and I liked the image on it, and I figured it would be easy to paint. So I thought that this would be a nice image to start with so that I would be less intimidated. So you can see here the green of my background is darker than the green on the card. But again, I'm just practicing, and all in all, the completed painting turned out really well, and I'm very happy with it. And I'm glad that I finally decided to take the plunge and stop being intimidated. That's one of the things that I'm trying to overcome this year, because there's a lot of paintings that I want to do that I think are going to be really difficult, and I hate to fail, so I don't try it. And then there are times where I am pressured for a commission to do something that I've never done before, and I'm nervous about it, and it turns out really, really well. So it's something that I definitely have to overcome, and that's one of the things I want to do this year, to try things that I find intimidating and push myself to see just how much I can do. So now in all the videos that I watched about using gouache, one of the things that they said was that when you're creating a background, to make sure you mix enough color, more color than you think you will need, because if you try to mix more to match it, it's seldom the same. And that's the first thing I did wrong here. I did not mix enough of the green for the bottom of the background also. Luckily, there's enough going on in this image that it's barely noticeable, if at all. And you can see that the top looks a little bit darker, but since the bottom is still wet, it's a noticeable difference. But as it dries, it's less noticeable. Also, I did buy some new brushes for gouache, specifically for gouache, because I don't want to use my watercolor brushes. One of the things that I learned was that you need a brush with a stiffer bristle than my watercolor brushes. So I did order some online, and I like them very much, but the angled brushes were too big for this painting. So luckily I have tons of acrylic brushes, and I was able to find one that I could use to do this small painting, the background, and for some of these larger circles. There are smaller brushes in the set, which I am using right now. You can see that I'm using it now. And I use them for the outline. So the set is very nice, and I'm sure I'll use it more. But for the background, I needed something smaller than the set came with. So here you see me mixing a little bit of purple, and even though the palette comes with a violet color, I just added a little ultramarine to the pink mix that I had on my palette. And here I just added a little bit more yellow to the green that was already on the palette for the background to make this limey green. And something else that I noticed is that the paint will dry very quickly, not just on your paper, but on your palette. So you do have to mist it with water to keep it moist. And the nice thing about gouache is that with watercolor, you can't paint light colors over dark colors. With gouache, you can paint white over any color. You can paint dark over light, light over dark. It doesn't matter because it is opaque, and it affords you that ability. So that's really nice, but again, something I need to get used to. Here I tried to mix a yellowish color, but it was very close to the lime green beneath it. But thankfully, once I added the outline, it was barely noticeable. So you can see here I am trying to darken the pink that was already on my palette that I used for the circles, because now I'm creating the outline and I'm using a script brush that came with the set that I purchased, and it's working really well. But when it comes time to outline near the pink circle, I realize that the pink that I currently have on the palette is very close to that color. So I just added a little bit more of the rose colored of my jelly gouache and darkened it a little bit more so that it would stand out over that pink circle. You can see now that I've got the background down and those circles, the rest is going by pretty quickly and very easily. One thing I did forget to do in the video is you can see that in the background there are darker green flowers, and I forgot to add those. So after the video, what I did was I mixed a lighter shade of green, almost like the lime that I used for those other circles, and I used that to paint in the flowers. If you would like to see the finished painting, you can take a look on my Facebook page, Vivo Vintage Designs, where I post the video and the finished painting as well. Also, if you give my paintings a try, please share them with me on my Facebook page in the comment section of the video. I'd love to see how you do. And as always, all the products used in this video will be listed in the description box just below the video. If you don't see the list, click on Show More or the arrow pointing down, and the list will expand, and there you'll find all the products and the links. And if you have any questions about the techniques you see me use here or any of the products, leave it in the comments. I'll always get back to you. And lastly, if you enjoy the content of this video, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to like and comment as well. Your interaction is very helpful to my channel and greatly appreciated. So you can see here I'm drawing in, or rather painting in, the flowers that are on her skirt, and I'm not following what I see in on the card. I'm just adding flowers wherever I want to, and I'm using a small brush with a fine tip, and then filling in some areas with some smaller flowers. Well, I hope that you enjoyed my first experience with gouache. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any pointers about using gouache, let me know. I'd appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. I will see you in the next video. Bye.